Hello, uh, peoples on my stream. Give a few people a few minutes here to get in here. Uh, uh, Secular pig, never been here before. Or just ding the bell. Don't bother. I actually almost never do anything on here. This is actually the first thing I've really done on this channel. I'm usually over on my other channel, Gardens Happen, but today I figured I'd go over a little something, and I've got an idea for. 'Cause I'm actually thinking about starting another channel, well, for something else. Do a little bit of a sort of a pop culture thing, maybe review movies, give my opinions on good or bad, and cover comic books, maybe even a old video game or two. Yeah, that's my pupper. That's Molly. I just got her, and this is her first Christmas with me. Hello, everybody. So, let's see here. Maybe we'll start off with a little song. See how this goes. Little children's song, "Hole in the Bucket." There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. A hole. Then patch it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then patch it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Patch it. With what shall I patch it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I patch it, dear Liza? With what? With straw, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With straw, dear Henry, dear Henry. With straw. The straw is too long, dear Liza, dear Liza. The straw is too long, dear Liza, too long. Then cut it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then cut it, dear Henry, dear Henry, cut it. With what shall I cut it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I cut it, dear Liza? With what? With a knife, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a knife, dear Henry, dear Henry, a knife. The knife is too dull, dear Liza, dear Liza. The knife is too dull, dear Liza, too dull. Then sharpen it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then sharpen it, dear Henry, dear Henry, sharpen it. With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza? With what? With a stone, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a stone, dear Henry, dear Henry, a stone. The stone is too dry, dear Liza, dear Liza. The stone is too dry, dear Liza, too dry. Then wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, wet it. With what shall I wet it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I wet it, dear Liza? With what? With water, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With water, dear Henry, dear Henry, with water. With what shall I fetch it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I fetch it, dear Liza? With what? With a bucket, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a bucket, dear Henry, dear Henry, a bucket. But there's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole. But not to worry. He peed on a stone, sharpened his knife, cut that straw, and patched his bucket. But the water never quite tasted the same again. Oh, hope you like that. I've been kind of practicing that a little bit. What do you guys think of the background? I couldn't really decide. So there's this one. There's a wobbly universe, a floating brain, or this kind of 80s jazz thing looking in deal. And I was kind of going with this since it kind of fits with the image there. So, covering some review things, I figured here to stay with the holiday spirit, we can look at a couple the comic book deal. Well, with that, we can look at Santa Claus, who appears in both with Marvel and DC comics as an actual character. In Marvel comics, Santa is in fact a mutant, along the lines of the X-Men. And in fact, when Cerebro, the X-Men's computer, detected Santa, it registered him as the most powerful mutant ever. He apparently has reality warping abilities. Is potentially immortal. His first appearance in Marvel Comics is Strange Tales, number 34 from 1954. And I'll be looking at that comic here. So, share screen. And the story that he appears in is Moment of Glory, where Sammy Glenn and his had never gotten what he had wanted or where he wanted. And for all Sammy, he's goodness and kindness, he was a failure. Nevertheless, he kept dreaming desperately of one. And of course, we see he's just working as a gas station attendant, taking care of cars, not really getting very far in life, having to put up with a jerk yelling at him and all that. I'll just bring that down because I don't want to show the whole comic book. Obviously, that's be a bit of a problem. Looking over, he's again doing his regular job, uh, getting crappy pay from a rich guy until a certain car pulls up. Here he takes care of the guy. And he just as he always does. Look at that car he's driving, and that guy is used to getting what he wants when he wants it. I'll be gone for 6 hours, boy. The keys in the car, my luggage just locked. Keep an eye on and everything, and I'll tip you well. Yes, sir. I'll look after it, sir. He gave me a 20. He gave me $20. He must be a millionaire. Yeah, because everybody carrying around $20, give away. He's a millionaire. Or in today is economy. It's barely anything. Imagine if this car were mine, and why couldn't it be? For 6 hours anyway. Hey, stealing a car for 6 hours. This is kind of like that Ferris Bueller thing. His suit, it would fit me perfectly in an hour. Or I could be back home and I'd show those smart alecks whose success has. Who'd be the wiser. Who'd know if it was just an act. So he drives off and visits a grave of an old friend or perhaps a bully. There he encounters the person's wife, who I guess he was a old flame of his, because as he talks to her, and he's telling him how miserable her life if turned out to be with the guy he went with other instead of him. He drives around some more, and you find some other people who have had downtime, and goes to a club. Apparently, they just let him ride in because they think he looks rich. No, he doesn't quite know what's really going on just yet. Never thought I'd be admitted into this exclusive club. But I guess I really look the part, aren't you? Mr. Van Dyne? Hey, no, you see, you're not. Pardon me, but you look so much like him. Mm. So he talks to the lady for a while, and another guy sitting next to him turns out to be a guy looking for a new engineering office. He figures he's just the man in for the job. So meeting this rich man, he gets a brand new job and returns back with a, a good time, his moment of glory, where he can actually he finally makes something big of himself. But what he didn't realize was all of this was completely set up intentionally, because the man in driving the car was Santa, and he set this whole thing up as a gift for Sammy, and that is Santa's first appearance in Marvel Comics. Hope I'm not boring everybody out there. Now his appearance in DC Comics is a little bit different. In DC, he's a wizard, though he is proven not to be as powerful as Black Adam. His powers are of an unknown nature as well, and he has immortality. So, in the DC setting, you see his first appearance is actually he's showing up with Superman. Yeah, there's actually a little thing I came across from the Justice League Unlimited series where Superman goes home for Christmas and has the Martian Manhunter come with him, and his parents are sitting there talking about how they had to line his presents with lead so he wouldn't look at them, and of course, yes, we have Superman getting all upset, going, "You mean Santa brought those presents?" Like, "Oh, of course, dear. Yes, we mean I meant Santa." And there were some comments on Twitter. Yes, I'm gonna call it Twitter, not X. X that how silly is it for Superman and to believe in Santa? Well, in the comics, he's met Santa. He even helped him out. And here's the first comic with Santa from DC. This one is from 1940, and it's a Superman and Christmas adventure. So in this one, Santa, we have Superman, or his identity is Clark Kent, walking past, and hears some trouble going on inside this building, and decides to investigate. Inside, he finds a spoiled brat complaining about the toy his father gave him. "I don't want a silly little toy. I've got too many. What I want is a motorboat or a yacht." So, what does his 1940s Superman do? Why he gets it's changed into Superman and commits its child abduction, just as you would. He brings the boy he to see a little girl playing with a broken doll, and uh, and the boy he's surprised. He's but that doll was broken. Why? And then is she having such a good time? Because that old toy means more to her than all your expensive playthings. She's grateful to have even that. This is obviously a Christmas Carol will take on the story going on here. Now he flies he's into another boy his window, and of course just like the creepy stalker vibes that they've been giving off in this story. He he takes note that he didn't have anything, and the boy was sad because he had nothing, not even a broken toy to play with. And the little boy realizes he had so little, and he have so much. I never realized. I hope that you now realize how fortunate you are, and how very unfortunate many other children are of your age. It's probably a problem a lot of people face. They don't realize he's just what they have, and they might show be a bit too greedy. Now, this comic actually has a second story in it, where a rich old man flies to the North Pole in his dick rocket. I'm guessing it's sort of like a old man and Jeff Bezos. And this guy apparently hates Christmas and is here to try and destroy Christmas. The elves drive him off, flying away in his purple dick rocket, and he attacks Lois Lane and Clark Kent with his knockout gas gun, which of course Clark being the person he is, actually Superman, and just fakes that he's knocked out and blows the fire out that the guy started, apparently trying to hopefully kill them for some reason. Lois goes running off the way she usually does and gets herself captured, and for some reason he decides the best way to eliminate Lois is to tie her to a giant bottle rocket and launch her. Kind of an odd choice, but okay. So he goes about oh, Santa's workshop, smashing all the toys and knocking out the elves with his gas gun. Meanwhile, Superman saves Lois and stops the evil guy with his usual picking up a car, or in this case, a truck. So he saved Christmas, and inside the truck was Santa's reindeer. But unfortunately, it turns out the guy has one more trick up his sleeve, and he knocks out the reindeer with his gas gun. Now, who's gonna pull Santa's sleigh? Why, no problem. We have Superman to fly his Santa all over the world. Well, instead of using his magical reindeer. And that's our next. And that was our story in the first appearance of Santa in DC Comics. And of course, nowadays, they want to do deconstruction of characters in Marvel, and they've been kind of tanking themselves. So to represent and Santa nowadays, instead of the jolly old man and all lively and quick, he's a skinny guy in tidy whitey and stained tidy whitey saying "fuck Christmas." There's Marvel in the modern era for you. All right, so let's a small taste of what I have in mind for a new channel covering some pop culture. Of course, I wouldn't necessarily be doing a comic book review or story like this. It would be more eclectic, covering a wider range of things. But I'd like to know what you guys think of the idea. And seeing how we still got plenty of time here, I think I'm gonna open this thing up to let people in if they want to come in. So there's pin that to the top. So if anybody wants to come in here and have a little open mic to finish things off, you can. Get myself a little apple cider. Yeah, thank you. The only thing is, I need a name for this new channel if I'm going to start it. I was kind of thinking of a few things. More something a little bit more aggressive, like Jerk of All Trades, seeing as a lot of people tend to look at the critics as jerks, and you usually get it labeled as right wing if you don't like something. Or maybe another idea I had was punching all sides, because if I tend to do more negative stuff, I'll be not just going after one side of the aisle. I'll be pointing out the flaws in every side if I can. Though there was one, and I was listening to another stream, and the person was talking about how we need to preserve our media, and that would go about buying physical media, because you can't really trust these streaming services. They could lose a thought. They could lose their rights to stream it. There goes your thing. Uh, Buying things on Amazon, that's more of an extended rental, really. So the best way to make sure that you have something is to buy the physical media, buy the Blu-ray, buy the DVD. And they even point out, even piracy serves a purpose in this way of preserving our culture, or because that more people have these files, well, the better off we are in that respect, because they can't be tampered with. As for example, well, Splash, shown on Disney Plus, was edited out, so you can't see the mermaid's ass when he goes up to the Statue of Liberty. They digitally edited hair on her rather poorly. So these are ways we can preserve what we've had. These are our myths. These are our modern myths. It's our stories. And hundreds, maybe thousands of years into the future. Hello.
What's up? I didn't check my mic first. How you doing, Mage Gray Wolf?
Doing good. So
Awesome.
Ozian?
Yes, Ozian. Close enough.
Ozian? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I got my eye tracker on, so if my eyes look funny, that's the thing. So
Yeah.
my camera's clear up there. So
Okay.
yeah, and your face is well, your the dog's face is right there. I guess the gray wolf or whatever.
Yep. Well, I figured I'd use something friendly for Christmas. I usually am using something like this.
Oh yeah, of course. That looks more like a gray wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my light off because my parrot sleeps in my room with me, and I don't want to wake her up, even though me
Oh, yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah. I've
probably
got
would annoy her.
I've got a parrot in his own room. Is a sun conure.
Uh,
What do you have?
an Amazon parrot, so
Oh,
like
I
the
love.
green ones, and yeah,
Oh, yeah, those are nice.
yeah. She talks and stuff.
Yeah,
See,
yeah, yeah. My sun conure talks too.
oh, awesome! I had a son conure, and my ex-wife let it die. The cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Anyways, so I was like hurt. But I finally got my own parrot. I'm not with her anymore, so my parrot
mm.
will live. Ah, I've had her for like
Yeah.
2 years now.
Well, anyway, the third name I was considering after listening to this guy, the person said that all these people doing collecting the physical media, even the piracy, they are cultural curators. And I thought maybe that could be a good name for a new channel,
Yep.
the cultural curator.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I do.
How you doing, Purple?
Okay. Good to see you.
You too. Yeah, like short and pithy, I think works like for a YouTube channel, like something that people can remember, So cultural curator is like, yeah, depends as long as it's on brand,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Well, I gave you a taste of what I have in mind. That's just with comics, but I was thinking doing a lot, with movies and all sorts of other stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds like a good thing. Unfortunately, this is, why copyrights are supposed to expire,
Yes.
Yeah.
so that you could be taking the stuff from 50 years ago and a new author could build onto something a former author made.
Oh, hey, Tim Pop. Yeah, I think Steamboat Willie, the copyright that's Mickey Mouse, the original Mickey
Yes.
Mouse, is finally falling out of
Yeah.
copyright.
It'll be out of copyright next year.
Yeah, but only that version of Mickey Mouse. Like the new versions, you can't use just that
Yes. Exactly.
version. It's like whatever.
That explains why Disney is so big on cashing in on that version this year.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not.
they're making a big deal of it as part of the 100 years of Disney celebration.
Yeah, I read so many books where they go out of their way to try not to use like pop cultural references in the books
Hmm.
because they're afraid of copyright infringement. It's like,
Mhm. Yeah. I don't like how copyright is handled nowadays. It's supposed to be a shield to protect the creator. Now it's used as a weapon.
Yeah, well, it's become a problem since it's being used by corporations instead of by individual creators.
Yeah. Exactly.
right.
It's stifling creativity now instead of helping to help promote and protect it.
Yep. Yeah, it's letting a few big corporations, basically prevent there from being too much competition.
Mm. In fact, this is actually another thing I'd probably be doing with the channel, is talking about stuff like this.
That
It's a
could be
good
interesting.
topic to have a chat about.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy with Wizards of the Coast too, TSR
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff.
They're trying to pull some Weasley stuff lately, and it's not going over too well.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of lawsuits, but I think they sort of backed off from that, is what I heard, at least when I've had
Sort
discussions
of.
about it.
Yeah.
They yeah they tried to back off and not back off at the same time, and
Well, what pisses me off is there were some games that came out in the 80s and 90s, that they've managed to somehow keep a copyright on even though no company has any intention of ever producing them again.
Right.
You know, so it's like some of these I've played with friends and they've liked them, and just with the technology we've got available now with our computers and scanners, it would be some work. It would, probably take me a couple of weeks, but I could reproduce a copy of a vintage game, just so that somebody else I've played it with could have their own copy.
Oh yeah.
Because these are ones that, yeah, you can't go on Amazon or go to Target and find a copy of it. They just don't make them.
I think their biggest concern is with people profiting off of it, right? If you just make a copy for, I mean, they could go after you for anything, I guess, but
Yeah, well, that's what the copyright law was supposed to be covering initially.
Yeah.
Was basically to give the original creator a monopoly on all the profits from it.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if you're doing something, I mean, with the material, or even just blatant ripping it off, and you're not profiting off it, that should not be an
Yeah.
issue.
I think they should not allow corporations to own copyrights. They should only be able to be owned by individuals.
I think patents and copyrights and all that stuff should be short term too.
Yeah.
Like Google buys tons of patents for various things. I think they're the number one patent holder. Are they? I think so. But
Wouldn't surprise me, but yeah.
It might be.
Yeah, it's the same problem with patents, that they try to buy up all kinds of patents for things just in case somebody produces something similar. They can go and sue them.
Yeah.
Well, they could also use it for other stuff, also because they own the rights to it and they don't have to fight somebody else for that
Yeah.
intellectual property. But I understand like people having rights to their intellectual property for the creative works and stuff like that. But I mean, it shouldn't be for life. I'm not. I mean, I'm against the corporate. Anyways, we don't want to get too political, but I'm against corporate
Yeah.
structures entirely, anyways.
Yeah.
But I'm not against private companies and stuff. But like the whole corporation where they protect people, use the government to protect them, I'm sort of against. And then they can get patents and copyrights. But a lot of like corporations, just fictions, like people like make something, they incorporate themselves,
Mhm.
like they have like 3 employees, but they're a corporation, like whatever. So
Mm.
they run as if they're like a sole proprietorship, but they're. Anyways, I went to business school and law school, so I can ramble on about this stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's pretty helpful.
good to have somebody knowledgeable on the subject.
Yeah.
A little.
Well, more than any of us here, I bet.
Was it Paquita? No, that's not right. My Spanish is atrocious. I worked at a pistachio plant in California for like a year, I think, and I was a supervisor there. And like almost all the employees speak Spanish, like almost all of them did. And so I did a safety meeting in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish, but I learned enough to be able to talk to my employees. And this was like a decade, like almost 20 years ago now. Geez, I'm getting old. Yeah, it was like 20 years ago. Oh my goodness.
Feeling old yet?
No, not yet. Anyways, and I did a safety meeting in Spanish, thinking, oh, everybody understand. And I had Punjabi people come up and like American, when I say Americans, I mean like, they have American citizenship. A lot of the people working there were on like work visas and stuff like that. And in California, there's a lot of people that are like citizens that they never learn English. So, anyways, and they say, "Could you do the English bilingually?" Or it's like, okay, safety meetings. Like, yes, sort of funny. I don't know why I did that. Oh yeah, because I couldn't remember what little meant in Spanish. So
why are we doing the old like 3D video game style?
I couldn't decide on what background, and this one's kind of fit with the image on screen with everybody's image.
I think it worked for what you were doing earlier with the comic stuff a little bit,
Mm,
like retro look.
yeah, I haven't really decided on the background. I just kind of pulled some stuff together.
Yeah, this looks like playing Mini Maze on the Atari 500.
Yeah, I found this one in this random lane. Like, oh, okay, that one's kind of neat.
Oh,
And like I said, I also have this kind of 80s looking jazz.
Or the Bard's Tale on the Commodore 64 if it had far worse graphics.
last Mini Maze has finally died.
Yeah, that's about Commodore 64 level graphics there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a Commodore 128, so I was up there. Yeah, 128.
Yep, it came later.
Which we could boot into both. It was like a Commodore 64.
Yep.
And there was no software for the 128. It was all for the Commodore 64. So,
yeah, because the software companies weren't really certain if there was going to be a big enough market for the 128.
Yeah.
So any of the stuff they pretty much made it to run on the 64. About the only things that came out for the 128 were like like a word processor that used the 80 column mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started working on the Amiga and killed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amiga 500 or whatever. Was that the first one? Or was it? I don't know. I remember my dad bought an Amiga. Like I was into PCs by that point.
Yeah, I never had an Amiga. I had the 128.
Yeah.
I had the 64 for like 15 years before I got a 128.
I remember playing Civilization on his Amiga. Like the first Civs.
Yep,
Yeah,
I had that one.
Civilization 1, I think it was, or 2. Maybe it was both that came out on it.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Long time ago.
I remember I got my first computer, a Commodore 64 with the tape drive in 1984.
Lucky you.
My Commodore had the floppy disk.
Yep.
I had neither. I had the
at-
floppy 128.
At the time I got it, the floppy drive cost as much as the computer itself did.
Yeah.
And it was like, I got that computer for like $500. I couldn't afford the floppy drive. And everybody laughed at me in 1984 when I said that by the time my kids are grown, computers will be as common as TV sets.
Yeah. My first computer was a VIC 20. That was before the 64, if you're familiar with it. Yeah.
Oh, a friend of mine had a VIC 20.
I used to have to type in, you get the books or magazines and stuff. They had like the games and stuff like that. This looked more like the VIC 20 stuff. Well, and they had like breakout games and stuff like that. And I had to type them all in, the game in, and I had no way to save it. So if somebody turned off the computer, then I had to re-enter the code for the game.
Yeah, well, that's why I knew I had to get the tape drive. I had to get something to save it right away.
Well, we got the tape drive eventually. I could never get to work right. Like it would work once or twice, and I was like, then it would stop loading.
Yeah. For the whole time I had the 64, the vast majority of the games were ones I had to type in from magazines because I was too broke to buy the software.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of computer my great aunt worked with at her banking job. She worked with the computers at a bank, and it was basically a entire room for the one computer, and I'm pretty sure it worked with punch cards.
Yeah.
That's what my dad worked on when he got his associates in computer science in the 70s. But my family's first computer was a Commodore 16.
Oh, yeah. I never quite understood why they even bothered releasing that one.
Yeah, I don't even remember that one.
It was supposed to be a cut down version, an economy version of the 64.
Oh.
But by the time it made it to market, there wasn't enough of a price difference to have made sense.
Like to compete with the Atari or something like that? Is that their thing? Or
I don't know
why they do that.
I never really understood. But they came out with the 16 and with the Plus 4. And the Plus 4 was just like a completely redesigned 64. And the big mistake they made with that was in redesigning it, they changed all the ports.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
like, none of the accessories you bought for the 64 would fit the Plus 4. Even the joysticks had a different plug.
That's
No
always a
one
bad
would
idea.
No one would ever accuse Commodore of making good marketing decisions.
Mm,
It's unfortunate, because they came out with a damn good computer for the time.
yeah, I used mine
Mhm.
up until I was about 14. When finally he retired it.
Mm.
Actually, maybe even 16.
Well, like I said, I got mine in '84, and I basically was using it up until I moved in with my ex, which was like 96 or 97. So yeah, I had been using it for good. Actually, I wore out the keyboard on my first 64.
Yeah, I lost that computer because of my old family issue. This house I had ended up with a mold issue, and my mom went to this whole rehab thing, and they were trying to clear out the entire house. All of a sudden, they took the computer, everything. There was, I don't know, said something about bugs crawling in it or something, and they trashed it.
Yeah.
There was a dial-up service that was just for like Commodores too. I remember that.
Yep.
I can't remember what it was. I always try to like look it up to like nostalgia. I don't know why.
I don't know why I'm blanking on the name of it because I've pulled this out before.
Yeah.
CompuServe.
Was it CompuServe?
CompuServe was originally dial-up internet access for the Commodore 64.
Okay. And then it transitioned to PCs because I remember it
Yep.
working for, and when I say PCs, I mean what everybody like Microsoft computers.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, the IBM compatibles.
Yeah. Yeah, people don't know that war. There was a war between Apple and IBM, and then IBM clones came out, and they just started calling them PCs. And then there was a big war between AMD and what was it, Intel? And anyways,
Yeah.
still is, I guess, but that sort of calmed down a bit.
Well, IBM finally basically said that they had to make the processors compatible.
Yeah.
So that they would run the same software.
Well, you can sort of thank Microsoft for that because they sort of like forced that to happen with their operating system.
Yeah.
Well, it was,
especially with the release of Windows, they were, forcing them to all be able to run the same operating system.
Yeah, it was Intel versus IBM originally, wasn't it?
No, this is not a Christmas channel. This is just my regular channel that I use to give my own little opinions on. I don't actually upload really anything to this channel. I have another channel called Gardens Happen. You're completely welcome there. Doesn't matter what religious belief or political belief you have. Everyone's welcome there. And like I said, I'm planning on possibly starting another channel, which I haven't gotten a name for yet. But that'll be covering the pop culture stuff that you heard in the beginning of this stream.
Yeah, my stream too. Like, we're not biased for or against any particular religion or non-religion either. So I start my stream in 2 hours and 15 minutes too. But I think somebody's coming on after you for 2 hours.
It's
Claire Bear's going to be on after.
Claire's Bears, yeah.
Yeah, after Mage here.
Now, if whoever's after me, if they know how to set the redirect on, give permissions to @matters now, and I'll set it up so it's automatic. Y'all automatically get sent there.
matters now. It's oh,
Yep.
you're in at 4 a.m. Oh, you got a nice early time slot there, don't you?
Yeah, I'm up now though. I tried to go to sleep at like midnight. I just got done finishing my second book. I published a book in January of last year. And like it's like a Christmas season thing for me or something, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, after you, I may have to fill in
Okay.
because Nervardia was supposed to take that, but I have not heard from her today.
Thank you. I actually figured I'd be driving some people away with my singing.
I heard rumors. That's why I'm here.
Well, I could sing and drive them away.
Please don't sing. I got a mute button though. Hold on. I'll just press it now.
Okay.
Tell me when you're going to start.
Actually, a couple of years ago, I did Tom Lear's Christmas Carol on Lavender Lady stream. And I have clicked that. It is on my stream. And I use it to threaten people that if I don't get more subscribers on Patreon, I'll do a musical.
You have subscribers on Patreon? Wow. I have 0.
I think I have 7 now.
Nice. I was up to like 12 subs on. I always like my work always takes me out of town or something, and I got to like 12 subs on Twitch at once, and then I had to go out of town. I come back and I had no subs. Like, whatever.
Well, I'll probably be up some more since I fell asleep during Claire's first stream. And woke up at the end of Ember. I was wondering what happened because I thought I was just laying in my chair for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Like I heard Claire's stream end. Like okay, like I thought it was maybe a few minutes. Clicked over to Ember's and that was ending. I'm like, whoa, okay, I must have fallen asleep. So now I'm wide awake.
Yeah, I've had that happen. But I have picked up about 24 subscribers during the stream. So I am now only 5 away from breaking 600, finally.
Hey.
Congrats.
I had been looking at that was going to be entirely possible. My number of videos might exceed my number of subscribers the way I was going.
Do you got the view hours yet, or that's the hard part for me?
Not as much anymore. I used to be doing live streams twice a week. Now I'm only doing them once a week. When I was doing them twice a week, I already had the hours, but I only had, like 550 subs.
Yeah.
And seeing we're sitting here doing a Christmas thing, if anybody could be so generous as to possibly donate to Purple's GoFundMe, you hear? I just put the link there. Her van got trashed by a what was it again?
Yeah, hit a deer, which the deer was apparently in the air. It managed to completely avoid the front bumper and land on the hood.
But anyway, we need to get about another $4,000 up on that funding so they can get.
Well, thank you, Mage, but yeah, I just wasn't gonna push it during the Christmas marathon because we didn't.
Well, I'm going to push this. This is my channel now. This is my time. I'm gonna push it.
That's what I'm saying. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's we had just bought the van a year ago.
Make a nice Christmas present for for setting this all up and giving you guys a place to sit. All right. How much time?
Tim Bob, actually, there were no marks at all on the bumper. That's why my brother, who was repairing it, felt that the deer must have been in the air and completely missed the bumper. Because it also did not deploy the airbags because it did not push the bumper back enough to set off the sensors.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left here.
Yep.
Copy and undo. Oops.
It's see then.
Stephanie Helms. Copy and undo. His copy is upon you. Why do you undo? I don't get it. Whatever. Control Z is undo, isn't it? And Control Y is redo, I think.
I don't remember.
Pretty sure.
I think she was applying to the blessed be he who is trying to evangelize to us.
Hmm.
I'm the old folk. Not really.
Let's
No,
see,
I'm the
Control-
old folk.
Let's see, Control C is copy. I don't remember what Control V is.
Control V is paste.
Yeah, yes, paste. Yeah, the Control Z and
Is undo, I believe.
Control A basically highlights everything.
Select all. Yeah. Or save as. Sometimes.
Yeah, Mark, I didn't say it was a moose. It was just a deer. I did see a moose in a snowstorm once when I was driving in Michigan. The bloody animal was bigger than my car.
Did you guys see that the short or whatever on YouTube or I don't know, TikTok or YouTube, where there was a whole bunch of moose just laid out in people's yards on a road, and people are like stopping to look at all the moose. I'm like, oh my god, that's like one of the most dangerous places to be right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not
Well,
want to stop there.
I was driving this little Ford Focus hatchback. You know, so yeah, the shoulders of the moose were about even with the top of the roof.
Oh, jeez. A room with a moose. You know what that one is from?
No, I don't remember that one.
Invader Zim.
I never got to watch that series.
Oh, you would like it.
Yeah, I saw some of it. I started to watch it, and then I lost the streaming service it was on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just drop the link there for Claire Bears. For anybody who got to this link through the playlist, it will automatically send you into the next thing as soon as this one shuts down.
Beautiful.
So yeah, you don't really have to worry about the redirect thing.
There's
in that regard.
Claire's. Unpin my stream.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I don't have any.
yeah, you hadn't put me as a moderator on this one yet.
Yep.
So
I don't have any.
that.
Yeah, I don't. I've never really done anything on this channel,
Yep.
so this probably won't. Maybe if I might do something again next year on this thing,
Okay.
but that'd be about it.
You do have a request to change the background, and I can understand
Sure.
how this could be headache-inducing for some people.
Let's put the brain on. How's that sound?
Maybe a bit hypnotic, but it's fine.
Merry Christmas. Anyways, they're getting Earl. You know, I killed Earl. You guys must know I killed Earl, right? No.
Hey.
She's getting a bunch of shorts together for her stream. So she's like, I gotta get something ready. I'm like, okay.
Yep. I have my kitty complaining I haven't paid enough attention to him today.
I try tail. I live with my boys right now. I had some health issues. Anyways, I still have my own house, but I'm staying here for a little while. And like all we do is play games. So like there's no family issues. It's pretty chill. Like
Oh.
There. Give you moderate your abilities.
And Mage, they're saying that you posted the direct link to her stream
Yeah,
instead of the one from the
Do
playlist.
they want the whole playlist? I mean, I just kind of figure I just use the direct link. Is it? Well, I have the playlist in the description down here if they need it. Good.
There you go.
All right.
Well, just so if they start from the playlist, they'll always keep rolling over into the next stream.
All right. So, couple
Tria,
minutes.
haven't seen you around for much. Yeah, blessed be he is saying that a static background would probably be better.
Static background. I didn't load one up. I can use the default.
Yeah. Like I said, I can understand how the emotion backgrounds could get to somebody after a while. Hey, what?
Yeah, we changed our background on our channel to like we're just this guy moves a little bit. I don't know. I like motion. I like stuff moving.
You want webcam?
Yeah, I kind of like the new feature. I've been playing around with it.
Yeah, with I know gaming, like I used to do a lot of gaming on Twitch and stuff and YouTube, and they always recommend a lot of stuff moving, like in games and stuff.
Well, a lot of it has to do, with the frequency.
Mhm.
So I have trouble with fast moving things like the maze thing that you started with. If somebody's just like playing a game in the background, that things are just moving at the speed of the character running with the joystick, that's not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, I don't really do anything on this channel, so don't bother subscribing or liking. How's that for you to plug?
Don't share this content. Don't like it. Don't subscribe to it. You've all been warned. Don't do that ever.
Though I could use suggestions for that channel name I was thinking about. So if you guys don't want to put some suggestions in the comments, I'm gonna leave this up probably for a few days. After the whole Christmas marathon's over. I'd like to hear what you guys think.
You can always rebrand this one too. So
no, I want to keep this Mage Grey Wolf for other reasons. It's kind of a personal thing. I've been known as Mage forever on the internet.
Yeah, Ozian's been my tag forever. So I always forget what brand I'm on, and I start messaging. I was like, "Oh, this is Ozian," so people know if they know me.
My kitty is trying to headbutt the keyboard to the floor and randomly pressing buttons on me.
Yeah, so Kitty is saying it's lap time.
Actually, I think he's saying it's time to go to bed. Yeah, I've been gone too much today, and it's late, so let's just go to bed. Yeah, I have to agree with, blessed be he on his comments here that, yeah, the fast backgrounds can make people anxious, or in some cases, kind of instill the same feeling of motion sickness.
Okay.
Yeah, Stephanie said God's background is static. There's comfort in that.
God's background is static. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go to the next playlist or try to take a nap. Either way. Thank you for the talk, guys. Purple and Mage.
Yep. See, has Claire started yet?
I was just checking that tab. No, she hasn't quite started yet, but yeah, she did put out her StreamYard link in the side chat there, so
Yeah, I think I'll probably pop in
Yeah,
over
she's
there.
looking for a couple of panelists.
Okay.
Okay, well, yep, there he goes. And
It's
we'll get
starting
to
now.
him in about 2 hours when he's running his stream.
All right, I'll close this thing out then. See you, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye. We'll catch you around.